Hello, this is Xbox Ahoy, and this is the 7th episode of my Black Ops 2 weapon guide. This time, we're covering the PDW-57. Another fictional weapon, the PDW is a futuristic derivative of the P90. This weapon previously present in all of the Modern Warfare titles. The PDW-57, or Personal Defense Weapon 5.7mm caliber, is relatively similar to its parent design, with a few minor cosmetic changes when compared to the Belgian P90. Outlandish in appearance, the P90 and PDW designs share the same top-loading magazine, an unconventional feed mechanism, but one capable of holding 50 rounds of the unusual 5.7 by 28mm cartridge. This cartridge fires a smaller bullet at a higher velocity, for a similar kinetic energy to a typical SMG, but with far better penetration characteristics against modern military body armor. The PDW-57 is a high-damage SMG, capable of killing in just 3 shots to the body at a close range. The MSMC has a slight edge in damage, but in practical terms, the PDW is similarly powerful. Outside the weapon's short range, you'll need 6 shots to kill, a hefty differential, making close-range engagements a necessity to make the most of this SMG. Rate of fire is a moderate 750 rounds per minute. Slow by typical SMG standards, but part of the price you pay for a higher damage weapon. With rapid fire, this will be elevated to 940 rounds per minute, on par with the MP7, but you lose much of your damage potential through a loss of much of your effective range. Hipfire performance is good, on par with all other SMGs, although you may see less consistent performance than those weapons with a higher fire rate. Recoil is moderate. Burst firing is essential at a longer range, although given the lower damage it may be best to avoid such gunfights altogether. Aim time is 200 milliseconds, standard for the SMG class, as is your movement speed at 100% base. Magazine capacity is excellent, holding true to the P90's tradition. The translucent top-loading magazine holds 50 rounds by default, more than any other SMG. Extended clip takes this capacity to a loftier 65. Although given that reloads are only a little slower than average, at 2.59 seconds, 50 rounds is generally sufficient. Our build with the PDW is going to be a blend of high-tech equipment and counter-defensive abilities. A support SMG class, leveraging some of the less direct means of extending your score streak. The PDW is a versatile weapon and is very able with most attachments on offer. Our selection ties into the class philosophy, a pair that unite to form an ideal counter-camper build. First up is the Millimeter Scanner, or MMS. This is essentially a red dot sight with a twist. You can detect enemy heat signatures through walls while aiming. Much like the Ghost perk, your enemy must be stationary for the MMS to detect them, and such enemies will only show as the scanner's pulse emanates outwards. This prescience should augment your awareness, not replace it. Be aware that enemies may still lurk ahead, even if they are not present on your scan. While SMG penetration is subpar, and FMJ cannot be combined with the MMS, if you detect an enemy behind thinner cover, you can tackle them without entering their domain. The PDW is perhaps the best SMG for this job, with its higher damage and ample magazine. But to enhance your chances, ensure you aim for the head, and shoot perpendicularly through the surface to ensure maximum damage. Given that FMJ is forbidden, the next best pairing with the MMS is the adjustable stock. This will allow you to move at full speed while aiming down your sights. With this combo, you can scan the area ahead with your gun ready, with no mobility penalty whatsoever. Another benefit is the elevated evasion potential during firefights. Strafing away from your opponent's aim while firing will baffle most folk long enough for you to secure a kill. Sprint only when necessary, and all other times keep your sights up and your gun ready. You'll gain the full benefit of the MMS and never enter a gunfight unprepared. Our perk selection ties into the supporting nature of our class. A build not for pure aggression, but more restrained and careful denial of your enemy's emplaced equipment and score streaks. Through such subversion of your enemy's assets, we can profit with our own score streaks. And our first perk will ease the attainment of such benefits. Hardline grants a 20% bonus to accumulated points, making score streaks correspondingly easier to get. This perk is ideal for a support class, especially when paired with suitable score streaks. You can leverage the assist score from the UAV to leave the higher tier score streaks within easier grasp. Our second perk is Scavenger. Not so much for the PDW, as that comes with an ample supply, but instead for our secondary and equipment. Still, in any case, regular resupplies will mean you'll never be left wanting for bullets. Third up is a key element in our strategy: Engineer. With it, your enemy's equipment will be highlighted in red through walls, revealing the entrenched positions of your foes. In addition, you'll be able to re-roll and booby-trap care packages, and any triggered explosives will be delayed, permitting escape. It's a great all-round support perk, and one that works very well in tandem with some of our equipment choices. Given that our class is devoted to support, we're going to forego a lethal option in favor of 2 tacticals, with the Tactician wildcard. An Engineer build is the perfect occasion to take advantage of this wildcard, with the tactical equipment proving very useful against enemy equipment. First up, the EMP grenade. Toss one of these within range of any enemy equipment and it will be destroyed, with an impressive radius of effect and an ability to work through walls. The score streak bonus for destroying such equipment is substantial. Quite often, a well-placed EMP grenade will earn more score than a kill might. Such grenades are less effective when employed directly against the enemy. Fuzzy vision and a loss of HUD and electronics are an annoyance, but do little to hamper an enemy's lethality. However, the EMP assist score when a teammate kills an opponent under the EMP grenade's effect is a nice bonus. And as such, it can be worthwhile to toss EMPs amongst groups of enemies while your team is on the offense. Enemy score streaks are also effectively dispatched by the EMP grenade. Dragonfires, Guardians and Sentry Guns will all be destroyed in very short order. The AGR is a little more resilient and will only be stunned, although multiple EMPs will eventually destroy it outright. Our second tactical grenade is similarly useful. The Black Hat PDA will destroy kill streaks and wrest control of enemy equipment instead of destroying it. Should you spot a bouncing Betty through a wall, point this PDA at it, and within an instant it will be yours. Your enemy will be notified of the hack, and the equipment will be non-operational for a few moments following. But quite often a hapless foe, or their teammate, will wander into the trap, scoring you a free kill. You can also use the Black Hat against score streaks, including UAVs and helicopters. In this case, it behaves like a single rocket, only destroying the streak once all flares are depleted. These hacks take a little longer, but can be useful if you lack other means to destroy such support. Paired with Scavenger, you'll have a near unending supply of both these tactical options, permitting near total denial of your enemy's defensive efforts. One potential alternative here is the smoke grenade. Paired with the MMS, this is a powerful option in objective games, as you'll be able to see through the smoke while the enemy are left blind. Our final choice is the S'more in our secondary slot. This is a more conventional choice for tackling enemy UAVs, and is versatile enough to be used directly against the enemy too. The launchers are generally faster than the Black Hat against aerial score streaks, so it's best to rely on the S'more when tackling them. In any case, with Scavenger equipped, you'll resupply both tactical grenades and a small rocket whenever you pick up a resupply pack, so you'll seldom be left without some means of denying the enemy's fun. That's our build, a specialized set that synergizes very well together, making for a potent counter to enemy equipment and score streaks, and to those enemies intent on holing up in a well-defended location. How well this tactic works will depend on your opponents. Some will favor equipment use more than others. In those cases, when you face a lobby full of enemies cowering behind their claymores, you can truly take advantage of this build and turn the tables on your foe. The PDW-57 is a potent close-range weapon that has a versatile blend of attributes for close-quarter gunfights. With 50 rounds in the magazine, you've essentially got extended clip for free. and paired with good hipfire performance and a higher level of damage, the PDW is a top-tier contender in aggressive play. However, the PDW loses any advantage outside of its effective range. At mid-range, you have moderate recoil and a 5 to 6 shot kill to contend with, giving the advantage to opponents with weapons better suited for such distances. The slower rate of fire can be a liability too. While you deal more damage per shot than most other SMGs, this also means accuracy becomes more critical. Relying on hipfire may yield inconsistent performance. Still, the PDW is no slouch when it comes to closer quarters. You'll still fare better than most weapons outside of the SMGs and shotguns. With a build that favors tactical SMG play over unchecked aggression, you can instead take a subversive approach, turning enemy equipment into fuel for your own score streaks. This high-tech build will thwart your enemy's plans and help to engineer your victory. Thanks for watching. This has been Xbox Ahoy. Join me next week when I'll be covering the first pistol, the 57. Until then, farewell.